of a few hundred meters. So these piezophilic organisms, now they are growing at 380 atmospheric pressures, means nearly 300 or 400 times higher as compared to normal or optimum pressures at which we are feeling comfortable. Now, and xenophytophores, which are growing, when you consider in terms of a depth, it is nearly 6.6 mile. 6.6 mile, or in other words, we can say, we convert in terms of a meter, we are more familiar with meter, than 10,000 meter. So can you think about any human being or a plant or an animal? We can take example of even we can say elephant. If you put at a 10,000 meter depth of ocean, whatever the pressure comes, water pressure comes on this, no animal can survive. While these organisms, they are surviving and they are growing at these pressures. Osmophilic organisms. Now once again, now we are dividing these pressures in a various group. In case of barophiles, we are not considering pressure due to the any other materials, but only due to the either you are putting the weight or you are putting water level or something. But in case of the osmophilic organisms, no, they are growing, the pressure is increasing due to the salt concentrations or due to the osmotic pressures besides or insides. So either you are going for a addition of a sugar or addition of a salt, then osmotic pressure will increase. So this group of organisms, they are known as osmophilic organism. Only a pressures, then they are known as a barophilic. These are having the similar characteristics, but they are slightly different. So osmophilic organisms are the organisms which are adapted to environment with a high osmotic pressure, such as high sugar concentrations. Osmophilics are similar to halophiles, what we have discussed. But when we say osmophilic, it includes halophiles, it includes due to the salt concentration as well as sugar concentration or any soluble material. While in case of halophiles, normally it is only the sodium concentration or the KCl concentrations. Now because this both type of environments, they are having very low activity. So suppose if I say that which type of organisms which may be spoiling the pickles or jam prepare, then we can say the characteristic of this organism may be osmophilic organisms. Characteristics of this organism, because now they will get more osmotic pressures due to the solubility, more salt or more sugar which is dissolved in this, and due to this, the substrate, here the substrate is your pickle or a jam, which water activity has decreased. In spite of this, if it is spoiled, then this group of organisms may be responsible. It may be halophilic, it may be osmophilic. No, this organism may be responsible for this. A very vital component where now we cannot think about life for more than a minute or more than few minutes. Temperature and all these things, no, nothing will happen. No, instead of 37 or 40 degree, 50 degree. If you are there for 5, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, nothing will happen. Or even 1 hour, no, at the most you start sweating and you have to drink more water to compensate the loss of the water. But in case of oxygen or air, it is very important, because now what is the proof that you are alive? Can you give me the answers? It's only breathing. Any living cell which breathe means you take either oxygen, and when we talk about the higher organism, it's only oxygen. But in case of microorganisms, it could be the oxygen, or it could be the carbon dioxide, or it could be some other gases. So depending upon the oxygen level, which is optimum for the growth of these organisms are classified under various groups, and you will find the growth of these organisms at various level. As for example, suppose now if you are growing these organisms in a broth medium and you are inoculating them in a tube which is known as a test tube, suppose you have taken 10 different test tubes which is having a best medium, and you have inoculated organisms. Now after incubation time, maybe 24-48 hours depending upon the incubation period of these organisms, if you are observing the growth, and in first tubes you are observing growth only on the top of the tube. In second tubes, you are observing growth throughout the tubes, but more growth towards the top of the tubes, and as you are going down, the growth is decreasing. In third one, you find growth equally distributed. In fourth one, you will find the growth which is slightly below the top, but it is slightly below, but afterward there is no growth. And in the fifth one, you will find the growth only at the bottom. So, can you remember? In first, you are finding the growth only at the top. In the last, you are finding growth only on the bottom. So, we can say this is the aerobic organism and anaerobic organisms. And in between these two extreme, at the top or at the bottom, another three classification is there. In one, you will find growth which is more on the, not at the top, but slightly below the top, and there is no growth. Though they are known as what is given from this microaerophilic organism. They are known as a microaerophilic organisms. Then facultative anaerobes and aerotolerant organism. How you can differentiate this now? There is a growth throughout, in both this, growth is throughout the tubes. But in one which is more near the top and it is decreasing, in another it is continuously. So this is aerotolerant and facultative anaerobes. Facultative anaerobes, more growth towards top and it is decreasing, but still it is growing. So this organism, it means they are not as fastidious as we are. Organisms, no reason, there are so many reasons. Many people, they say, I take only the tea. And many times, the person will go to somebody's house, and if they are not having coffee and say, I cannot take tea, I want coffee, then that person is in a lot of trouble. So these organisms, they are adjusting depending upon the availability of oxygen, depending upon the availability of the acid or alkali or pressure, this organism. And the reason could be, they are highly adaptive. Now, what could be the reason for this? Who is the first living creature on the planet Earth? Microorganisms. And till today, in 2015, October also organisms are there. So, from the origin of Earth till today, and even if we talk about the another 1 century, 2 century, 3 century, then also we will find the microorganisms. Why we find the microorganisms? Why I can say so confidently that as long as any other living creatures are present on the earth, you will find the presence of microorganisms. Because if we want to survive, any animal want to survive a healthy life, they should have the presence of organisms which are known as a normal flora of the body. No human being or no animal can function normally in the absence of microorganism in their body. And if we think that after 10,000 years, if any plant is surviving, any human being or any extreme animal is surviving, then definitely the organism present in that animals are surviving. So this is the way. And why these organisms are surviving? Because they have adapted from the origin of earth to till today. And during this, why this physiologically these organisms are so diverse? Because when they have grown first on the planet earth, temperature was very high. And whatever the gases available, maybe the reducing conditions, because higher temperature will not find oxygens, so it may be the reducing conditions, so it may be the H2S or some of this material. From that, they have developed the enzymes to synthesize whatever you want, either protein or lipid or carbohydrates. And till today, what types of the food you are preparing, and if you are throwing that food, organisms are growing. So they have the mechanisms or they have the enzymes to get whatever the cell component require, either from taking energy from sunlight and using the carbon source as common as carbon dioxide. They won't require any other thing. And they can synthesize whatever thing you want. Suppose if you want gulab jamun, it means a carbon. So this organism have the ability. If they want, they can synthesize. So, and some of these organisms, if they are not using the sunlight as an energy source, they are using either inorganic salt as an energy source, or they are using organic material as an energy source. And so as you are coming, a photosynthetic organism or autotrophic organisms and heterotrophic organisms. So a photosynthetic and autotrophic organisms, they are having more enzymes as compared to heterotrophic organisms in terms of a biosynthesis, metabolic activity. And they can synthesize whatever the complex material. While heterotrophic organisms, if you put it in a medium which is containing only iron or which is containing only nitrate or nitrite, they cannot grow. While autotrophic organisms, because to grow for organisms, that we are going to discuss in a second lecture, now growth lecture 2, how the organisms are growing. But before that, what we are discussing, these are the conditions. So when the heterotrophic organisms require either some protein or some carbohydrates, because from this protein and carbohydrates and lipids, now they are developing enzymes, and that enzyme will synthesize other cellular material. While autotrophic organisms, they synthesize from carbon dioxide or sunlight or any inorganic salt. Some of these organisms, which are requiring carbon dioxide as energy or materials, once again it is a capenophilic. Now, the importance is this new terminology, because they will ask, capenophilic. So that we should know. Capenophilics are the organisms which thrive in the presence of high concentration of carbon dioxide. They may be like anaerobic organisms because at high concentration of carbon dioxide, but not necessarily. It's only the absence of oxygen. So there are some subgroup of the capenophilic organisms which require high concentration of carbon dioxide, but they may not be killed if some oxygen is present. While an extreme group of organisms which require high concentration of carbon dioxide, and if traces of oxygen is present, they will kill, like methanogens. Methanogens, they are so sensitive. Now, even if you want to transfer from this one tube to other tubes, and if you are slow, if you are not fast enough, then whatever the exposure of these organisms to transfer from one medium to other medium may be a few seconds. That much oxygen exposure is more than sufficient to kill this. So they are so fastidious in terms of inhibitions by oxygen. Nutrients. No, this will a very long topic, so I am not included here all the nutrients, but try to give you some terminology. This nutrients we will discuss in a second lectures. Different types of nutrients, as I told you, the autotrophic organism, heterotrophic organism, then photoautotroph, photoheterotrophs, photoorganotrophs, photolithotrophs, like this. This is the various classifications based on the nutrient requirements. But an autotrophic organism is an organism that can live in the environment that offers very low level of nutrients. High level of nutrients and low level of nutrients. Suppose many microbiologists, they are not much aware how to transfer organism when you want to grow organisms from a environment. Suppose you want to isolate maximum number of organisms from water. It may be we can say tap water or a borewell water or a sea water. Normally, blindly, most of the microbiologists and most of us, we are inoculating them in nutrient broth or nutrient agar or McConkie agar or some a normal media. But then this organism will die. Because when you talk about the isolation of this organism from water, and particularly from a groundwater or tap water or river water or a ocean water, I am not talking about the wastewater. But in these waters, do you know that have you added any glucose in a water? Have you added any peptone in this water? It means organisms are used to grow in the absence of high amount of a protein or carbohydrates or any nutrient compounds. And suddenly you will transfer these organisms to a enriched medium or a rich medium. Normally, in case of Jain community, they are doing atthai. very recently, pollutions, and after that, immediately they are not taking the very heavy food. First they will take only the boiled water. After 7 or 8 days of fasting, they take only boiled water. Then they will say boil mug water, and slowly, means even your stomach is not exposed to the high nutrients for 7 or 8 days. Then also you require this type of a we can say adjustment. While those organisms which have lived years together, only in the presence of very, very low concentration of nutrients, and directly you transfer them in a nutrient-rich media, they will die. So this type of the organism, oligotrophs, they may be contrasted with the sopiotrophs, which prefers nutritionally rich environments. Oligotrophs and copiotrophs, two difference, which normally E. coli and all other organisms which require the rich nutrient medium, while those organisms which are growing at you will find in water, or you will find in a desert, or you will find in a sea waters, they are not oligotrophic organisms. Oligotrophies are characterized by slow growth. Normally, bacteria are known for a fast growth. Normally, a human being requires minimum 9 months to deliver a child. And while in case of bacteria, every 20 minutes, and when you are giving most optimum medium, some of the E. coli and some of this organism, they can multiply within 15 to 17 minutes. And as low as even 11 minutes is also reported. So, a generation time or growth rate is so fast. But in case of oligotrophic organisms, it is slow. Because we think that we are most clever living creature on planet Earth. But if you look to the physiology and understanding of organisms, then definitely it proves that we are not the most developed creature. Organisms are most developed creatures. Those are oligotrophic organisms, their generation time. What is the lifespan of a, we can say, tortoise? 100, 200 years. And normally it moves very slow. So, we don't have that understanding. If suppose if I want to live for 150 years, I should think in such a way, I should not do so much activity. So it is what is happening, they are saving the energy. So this